let's go to Utah and let's go to Salt Lake City real quick. Let's go to the Utah Utes. Now, I know if you're watching on the YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button while you're there. I know I'm wearing a BYU shirt right now. I know I went to BYU. You can look behind me. Diploma. Prove it. I actually got the degree somehow, some way. I'm in on Utah this year. I am in on the Utah Utes this year.
Talk to me. Are we on the same page with why we're in on Utah? Talk to me.
I'm gonna tell you, Dylan. There's multiple things. And first off, I want to get this point across. Last season with Utah, 5-7, whatever, disaster year. Lost the locker room. Dudes are transferring out. The NIL was a nightmare. It all stemmed from Cam Rising. Cam Rising just stole millions of dollars from that program and then just walked out. Didn't have to hardly do it. He played 2 games last season and then just gets millions of dollars in NIL and just walks away. No big deal.
Sadly, Karter, he had to leave before his 30th birthday, unfortunately. He had to leave school.
True. That's true.
Won him a championship. Maybe we settle down with the Cam Rising talk.
Connor, from that Bill Connolly article, he talks about the Utah Utes, and this is a big reason why I also like them too. Outside of Kyle Whittingham, I love Jason Beck coming in. Devin Dampier from New Mexico, also. He's an electric quarterback. I think he's going to be the most electric quarterback in this conference. But he said in this article, he said, I looked at 3 types of luck or fortune that could lead to a turnaround, good or bad, the following season and came up with ways to grade teams in each category. For turnovers luck, Utah ranked 121 nationally. For close game fortune, the Utes ranked 99th. For lineup stability, they ranked 128th. Add those rankings together, and they were quite comfortably the least fortunate team in power conferences. Second worst among all FBS. This team was very unlucky last year. This team had to play Isaac Wilson, who was not ready to play quarterback. He needed a red shirt last season. The weapons were all a disaster. The locker room was lost. They couldn't get the ball to any of these dynamic receivers last season. The defense was still solid, a top 20 defense nationally at that point. They got the quarterback. They got the offensive coordinator. They've got weapons. They also have probably the best offensive lineman in the country as well. I'm all in on Utah. Kyle Whittingham's farewell season this year. I think the Utah Utes win the conference.
Oh, boy. I loved everything you just said. Here, I won't harp too much on it because I think a lot of what you said is correct. I love what you said about the luck stuff. You know how to talk sweet to me, Karter. 4 years of doing this show, you know how to talk sweet to me. Devin Dampier, however you say it, I'm going to opt for the French pronunciation. Go Devin Dampier. For the clip,
Devon.
Devon Dampier. I gotta make sure I'm looking right for the clip. Devon Dampier. His ceiling is Heisman winner.
It is. I 100% agree.
Heisman winner. You tell me Dampier is winning Heisman A, I would say no way. No, actually, I would say yes.
You would say okay.
I would say okay. Make my day, will you say? So, this guy, look, he had 19 rushing touchdowns last year, 1,000-yard rusher at quarterback. I don't love the 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio he had at New Mexico. He had 12 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions. But you bring Ryan Davison with you at wide receiver, a transfer from New Mexico, 73 PFF rating. Karter, I love what you said. I love Devin Dampier. This is a guy that has made me tons of money at New Mexico last year. Remember they had a win total of 1.5. I think they won 2 or 3 games. Thank you very much. I love it. I love this team. Devin Dampier, I'm in on. Heisman ceiling. The defense, the 50th rated defensive unit last year, they don't return a bunch of those starters. I'm seeing 10 of 22. I'm liking this Utah team. I don't know if they're not my conference winner, but I love them.
New Mexico won 5 games, and also on top of that, he had to take those risks on offense because you knew if he gave the ball back, the other team was scoring. This was the worst defense in college football last year in New Mexico.
Yep.
So he had to take those chances. He doesn't necessarily have to, and plus his offensive coordinator is coming with him, Jason Beck, who is an elite offensive coordinator. He's going to be a head coach, I bet, in the Big 12 in a year or two. It's a perfect marriage, in my opinion. And also, you're betting on Kyle Whittingham. He's had one bad season in the last, 15, 20 years. I'm backing that every single time. They're going to bring in a great defense. It's tough to play in Utah. Their schedule isn't that bad, especially the non-con. They got to play Nico week 1, and then you play non-conference games, but it's Cal Poly and Wyoming. Not too worried about that. I think this Utah team goes 10-2, and I think they win the Big 12.
Connor, before you go real quick,
Yeah.
because I have a relevant point to hit on, Karter. You said that about his time at New Mexico and the interceptions, which I think is a fair point. When you know your defense is that bad, you feel like you own some of having to make up for that as a quarterback in that system. Do you think that affects any of the upside on his rushing? Like, maybe if they turn, I don't want to say they turn him into a conservative player, but if you get a little too comfortable, maybe that drove him a little bit. The interception numbers might come down, but maybe so do the rushing numbers. Any thought about that?
I think that's a fair point, but at the same time, you've got to turn it down a notch because you can't have a 1-to-1 ratio in college football. You're not going to win a lot of games that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just think he's such a good quarterback. I think he's going to take that next step. And, yeah, he had to take a lot of risks last year, and it made his stats maybe look a little better in some areas, a little worse in the turnover areas. I'm okay with it. It's a risk I'm willing to take. If you're taking Dampier for Heisman, I don't hate it. I think he's 20-1 right now, 40-1, something like that.
Connor, talk nice to us. What were we thinking about Utah?
We're pretty much in lockstep with these last couple teams we've talked about. I love Utah this year. The MO for Utah over the last couple of years has been inconsistency, especially at the quarterback position. 6 different quarterbacks have thrown at least 30 passes for Utah over the last 2 seasons, and they are 2-7 in their last 9 games decided by 1 score. I think that's a lot of regression there. You mentioned the luck stats. I had those written down as well. All that points to Utah getting back to where we're used to them being this year. And I think it's going to be more offense than defense this year. You guys touched on the quarterback, Devin Dampier, a lot. I don't need to go too much into that. Their top 6 O-linemen from last year back, I would rather have transfers at skill positions than the O-line. I love that consistency and that, the continuity as a unit at the O-line. Bring in the new weapons, bring in the new quarterback, bring in the 3 new running backs that I think are playable right away. I think this offense is going to be great. I think it's going to be electric. The defense won't be as strong as we're used to, but I think the offensive improvement should offset that. I'm in on Utah. I wrote down over 7.5. I got them 9-3. I wouldn't be shocked if they made the conference title game. I'm still going to pick Texas Tech as my conference winner, but Utah would not surprise me if they're there as well. So I love Utah this year.